How is it going, everyone? Today I'm here with my WWE Extreme Rules 2017 pay-per-view. Of course, Extreme Rules was a Raw exclusive pay-per-view event that took place live on the WWE Network as well as pay-per-view. And overall, my thoughts on the show was, it was whatever. Like, I think it was a good show, but mainly because of the last three matches. I feel like those last three matches really saved the show from being a bad pay-per-view. The first three matches kind of like whatever, nothing, didn't really do much for me. The opener was fine, but the two matches after that were just really like whatever. So, I mean, for the most part, I'll say I was entertained. I'd say, even though I said it's a mess show, I'd say it's good for what it was. I enjoyed most of the show, so it was a good show, I guess you can say. That's really too much. That's all I'm really gonna say about it. It was good. It was, if you sat through and watched it from start to finish, probably enjoyed it because I did for the most part. But it's definitely not a show I'd recommend going out of your way to see anytime soon, or going back and watching it back. So. That's my overall thoughts on the show. Before we get to the main show, of course, we had the 1 hour kickoff show, 1 hour prior to the pay-per-view, which featured a kickoff match, one that was added this morning. They announced on Twitter, which was Kalisto versus Apollo Crews. Match was fine. It was like an average TV match. You had Kalisto get his, signature Hurricanranas in. You had, the partnership between Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil kicking in, where Titus O'Neil was just barking at Apollo Crews to do these things, and Apollo Crews was obliging. It was just it was a pretty average match, if you ask me. Ending came, which pretty much is the same as like finish we've been getting with Apollo Crews in all of his matches with Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil and him were just bickering, or Titus just yelling at him to do something, and Apollo Crews kind of like what, which seemed like they did that for like 20 minutes. I felt like it went on forever. Kalisto hit a Selena del Sol out of nowhere for the victory, so Kalisto wins. What they're doing with Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil is beyond me. I feel like they're trying to like tell you they're on the same page and that they're a cohesive unit now, but once you see him like in the ring when Apollo Crews wrestling, Titus is managing, they're not on the same page. So it's kind of like mixed signals, those two. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, average match, you asked me, nothing too special about that. We go on the main show, which also opened up with the Intercontinental Championship match, Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. Of course, stipulation being if Dean Ambrose got disqualified, he would lose the Intercontinental Championship off a disqualification. This was a good match. I feel like it definitely was not better than the Raw match from a few weeks ago. I feel like that match was way better than this one. I was very disappointed about how this match went. I feel like they're just really playing to the DQ stipulation too much. That kind of took away from the match. That was a big part of the first part of the match. Was Miz trying everything he could to get Dean Ambrose disqualified, slapping him, throwing him around, just doing any little thing he could to irritate Dean Ambrose to the point where he would just snap and get himself disqualified. So it really hurt the match for the majority of it, if you ask me. And then they started wrestling around. The Miz targeted the leg of Dean Ambrose, even like locking the figure four, and Ambrose, reversing it on Miz and applying the pressure on him. So, it turned into a pretty good wrestling match with nice transitions, some nice counters, and then resorting back to the DQ stipulation, of course, when the turnbuckles got exposed. Ambrose almost threw Miz into it, but stopped, and then the referee, John Cone, was probably the dumbest bastard you can probably do. He tried to play smart in the beginning. At the beginning of the match, he realized what Miz was trying to do. He's like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. I'm not going to DQ Ambrose. And towards the end, he does the dumbest thing, and it makes him look like such a goddamn stupid idiot. So, basically, come down the wire, Miz trying to get Ambrose DQ'd. He tells Maurice to slap him. Maurice slaps Miz, and then John Cone, the referee's like, know what? I know what you're trying to do. I'm not going to DQ you, even though it's a disqualification. You should do your job, ref, but clearly they didn't want to do it. Instead, he ejects Maurice, so, Maurice ejected from ringside. Miz and Ambrose are going at it while Cone is ejecting Maurice. Miz throws Dean Ambrose into John Cone. John Cone flies out of the ring, threatens to DQ Ambrose as he's going to, threaten to DQ him. He's walking to the timekeeper's table, I don't know, he's not doing his job. Then all of a sudden, Miz hits the Gold Rush finale out of nowhere on Dean Ambrose. 1, 2, 3. The Miz is brand new Intercontinental Champion, and, yeah, John Cone's a fucking idiot. I don't think anyone's ever liked him as a referee, and he proved how much of a fucking idiot he was in this match. But, yeah, the match, like I said, it was a good match. It's good back and forth. The beginning was really slow because they were really focusing on that DQ stipulation. And then it turned into a pretty good wrestling match after that with some nice counters and submissions and, working the leg of Dean Ambrose, I thought. So, good match. It's disappointing because I feel like they could have done a lot better. Their match on Raw, like I said, was better. Glad Miz is the Intercontinental Champion. That's what the championship should be. He should have never lost it. Since he won at WrestleMania 32, or the night after WrestleMania 32, honestly, he should be, right now, Miz should be having one long, continuous year-plus reign as champion, in my opinion. That's what they should be doing. He should have never lost the title to begin with to Ziggler or Ambrose, so that's why I feel. Hopefully they continue what they're doing with Miz with the Intercontinental title before, again, so that's something to look forward to, and yeah, like I said, good match overall. Then we go to the mixed tag team match. Sasha Banks and Rich Swann versus Noam, Dar, and Alicia Fox. Nothing special here. You had Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox go at it. Then, of course, Noam Dar and Rich Swann had a pretty nice interaction. But by the time it looked like they were going to pick it up, they tagged out for Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks go at it. So, very average match. Like the finish, though. Sasha Banks hit a Meteora on the outside. Noam Dar, Rich Swann threw in the ring, hit a Phoenix Splash for the win. So, that was your mixed tag team match. Nothing too much to say about that. We had a Elias Sampson segment in the ring where he sang a song. And that was that. That's all it really was. I was expecting a last Sampson squash, but no, they just had him sing for whatever reason. So that was that. And then we go to the kendo stick on a pole match for the Raw Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, who Bayley actually got booed pretty heavily when she did an interview after the Ambrose match. She did an interview and the crowd booed her pretty heavily in that. And even here, she was not really getting cheered as much as you would think. In terms of the match, God, this whole story behind Bayley not getting extreme, this whole match was for her to get extreme. Didn't even work out because this is how the match goes. Match starts, they go at it, they try to fight for this kendo stick. Kendo stick gets knocked down by both of them, and Bayley comes up looking so stupid because Bayley's clearly closer to the kendo stick, but instead of going to reach it, she rolls over to make sure Alexa Bliss doesn't get it. Stupid, beyond me. Then eventually Bayley gets it, but Bayley's not able to hit Alexa Bliss because Alexa Bliss outsmarts her, takes the kendo stick from her, beats down Bayley with the kendo stick. Bayley was able to hit a Bayley belly out of desperation, but was not able to cover. Alexa Bliss nails her with kendo stick shots once again and hits the DDT for the 1-2-3. It's literally a 5-minute match of Alexa Bliss beating holy hell out of Bayley, with Bayley getting like 1 or 2 shots in, and that's basically it. It was almost a squash, honestly, and it was just a huge disappointment because the whole story was for Bayley to get extreme, yet she was not able to do it in this match, so completely waste of time. Alexa Bliss still Raw Women's Champion, which I don't have any problems with, and yeah, they just, everything about Bayley on the main roster is just not working, in my opinion. I haven't enjoyed her work really at all, and what they're doing with her, she just always comes off stupid and just, I don't know. Stupid is probably the biggest word I could use for her right now because it's every action she makes is stupid when I watch her, so that was that. And then we go on to the steel cage match for the Raw Tag Team Championship, the Hardy Boyz versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Really good match here. They utilized the cage pretty much to its full advantage. Pretty much that was all the matches. This, both teams throwing each other into the cage, working the cage, of course trying to climb out. Which, by the way, the stipulation was that the match could only be won by escaping the cage, which I was not a fan of personally. I know a lot of people like that stipulation because that's what cage matches are for a lot of people. In my opinion, a cage match should always be won by pinfall or submission. Just because I feel like the cage should be there to keep them in the ring, not to escape the ring. But that's a video on its own right there about me giving my thoughts on how a steel cage match should go. But the match, like I said, good back and forth action. Told a good story with the cage. It kind of got repetitive and boring because, again, that's all they kept doing was attempting to escape the cage. It's just like, come on, I want to see some action. And, it's not like they're just escaping and pulling each other down. They'd pull each other down, do some nice maneuvers, throw each other in the cage. So it was a nice story, good action. I enjoyed it. Not sure if I liked it more in their payback match, honestly, but I still enjoyed this cage match. I thought, like I said, it told a good story. It's nice spots. Some nice teamwork from both tag teams as well. And it was an enjoyable match. But I felt like the escape-only stipulation really hurt this match because I feel like the pinfalls and submissions really add the drama as well. It makes it climactic because the match can end at any moment's notice, yeah. So like pin or submission, escaping the cage can be an option, but I feel like the pinfall and submission rule really helps add the drama that the match can end at a moment's notice instead of watch them climb and be like, oh, okay, this match is over now because he's finally out. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. But the ending kind of ruined the match a little bit. Not for me personally, but I just thought it was really, really stupid how to play it out. So Jeff Hardy escaped the cage, so Matt Hardy was left alone in the ring with Cesaro and Sheamus, which, he fended himself off. He had 2 side effects on both of them and tried to escape, but then Cesaro and Sheamus absolutely annihilated him. They both did a razor's edge to him off the top rope. Was not able to escape, though. Matt Hardy fights back, tries to climb out again, but they end up bringing him down. Cesaro hits him with an uppercut, and Sheamus hits him with a white noise off the top rope. So Matt's down, Sheamus and Cesaro getting up. Jeff Hardy decides to climb the cage and hit a Whisper of the Wind off the top of the cage, which I thought was pretty cool. I totally expected a swanton, but for him to do Whisper in the Wind was pretty cool to see. And so Jeff Hardy's down, and Matt Hardy is pulling Jeff out of the ring because Matt Hardy's escaping. He's pulling Jeff with him. Meanwhile, Cesaro and Sheamus are climbing off the other side of the cage. They drop down before Matt Hardy pulls out Jeff, and they win the match. However, if you think about it, Jeff Hardy already escaped the ring. So when Matt Hardy got out of the ring, they should have already won the match. But the way the rules were, since Jeff Hardy went back in the ring, he was back in the match, which made no fucking sense in the world. it shouldn't have mattered that he went back in the cage. He should have been counted that, oh, he was already out of the ring once. He's no longer in the match. I mean, it's a steel cage match. Anyone can get involved. So I thought the fact that they resettled the rule and said that, okay, since Jeff Hardy came back in the ring, he's back in the match. He's no longer out. That was very, very stupid. And I just felt like the whole construction of the finish was really stupid as well. So that anything that ruined that, well, not ruined, but it definitely hurt the match. That stipulation, but or that rule, but I don't know. I feel like, yeah, a lot of factors hurt this match, and I feel like it didn't live up to its full potential. So that's on their end. But Cesaro and Sheamus, 2 tag team champions. Not sure how I feel about that. I was really hoping for, you know, a Hardy's revival feud during the summer for the tag team titles. But Cesaro and Sheamus, tag team champions. I'm not sure where you go with that, but I'll also have to wait and see how that goes. So yeah, very good match. But like I said, I feel like it was very restrictive for some of the things they had to do. From there, I'm going to go to the submission match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, Neville versus Austin Aries. Once again, another really good match between Aries and Neville. Some good submission wrestling. You know, Aries trying to lock in the last chance for every chance he would get, trying to lock in with different variations by setting it up in different ways. But Neville would somehow get out of there, get to the ropes, or just outsmart Aries. I feel like Aries was doing a lot of repetitive stuff. I feel like he was doing a lot of the same things this match, which kind of hurt it for me because it's just like, all right, do something different. You're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So that's one of my main gripes with it. But it was a good, solid wrestling match. The crowd was kind of into it, but they kind of weren't. Neville looked like $1 million way of selling instead of Austin Aries maneuvers. Aries and Neville, their trilogy match has been really good, but I feel like they've been nothing but disappointments because I feel like they honestly should have had that one match. That should have been amazing, but they never had that one match. So it's really disappointing to say, but yeah, just a good technical wrestling match. It was some, different variations of submission holds. Was a huge fan of the finish. I thought it was a really great way to end the match. But it kind of got fucked over because Aries went for a suicide dive on the outside, but Neville ducked down. But the way the camera angle was the first one, it looked like Aries dove at absolutely nothing. It looked like he just dove at the outside like an absolute idiot for no reason. But once they showed a replay of Neville ducking down, then you realize, okay, Neville ducked, that's why he didn't hit it. But the first angle, he looked like he literally dove on the outside for absolutely no fucking reason. And then Neville throws in the ring, hits a red arrow, followed by the Rings of Saturn for the submission victory. Austin Aries taps out. Neville retains the Cruiserweight Championship, which I like. Even though I want to see Austin Aries as a Cruiserweight Champion, I feel like it wasn't his time. I feel like Neville should have a lengthy reign as champion. Maybe drop it out Cedric Alexander down the road, but I just feel like right now just was not Austin Aries' time. So I like that. I like that Neville retained. Really curious to see how they go with Austin Aries going forward because honestly I don't know where you go with him going forward. I feel like that's the case with a lot of cruiserweights. Once they get out of the title picture, it's just an endless direction. They just don't know where to go with them. So I kind of feel that for Austin Aries, but about to obviously wait and see where they go with him after this. But really good match, just not anything blown away like I was really expecting those two to deliver. And then we go to the main event, which was the the number one contenders fatal 5-way Extreme Rules match for the Universal Championship. Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe versus Finn Bálor versus Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. Immediately, Bray Wyatt and Finn Bálor and Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins going at it. Roman Reigns kind of just walk around the ring. Like, he's literally walking around the ring like, okay. As everyone's just going at it, kind of just pacing, taking his time, until eventually, of course, he got in the action of it. The first half of this match was very, very slow. I understand this match is like 30 minutes long, but the first like 15 or so minutes was just kind of painful to watch. Not too much is going on. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns got taken out by Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe. So you literally just had Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe teaming against Finn Bálor and just tearing him down, beating him into a bloody pulp, pretty much. Well, he wasn't bleeding, but you get the expression. But just beating down Finn Bálor for like a good 5 to 8 minutes, it seemed like. They're just beating them down, double teaming, which, by the way, Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe as a team in this match worked very, very well. I thought they looked great. I wouldn't mind them as a tag team in the future down the line sometime, but yeah, just tearing down Finn Bálor, hitting him with steel chairs, just not a whole lot going on. Then, of course, the final half of this match was just when everyone decided to wake up. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns woke up from their naps they took for about 10 minutes, finally got back in the ring, finally made it into a 5-way again. And then everyone just busted their ass, went 100 miles per hour. I feel like everyone really worked hard in the final stretch. You had a lot of nice sequences, a lot of nice maneuvers, a lot of counters, nice brawling on the outside. But one complaint about this match was it's an Extreme Rules match, which they didn't use any weapons besides the steel chair. Kind of lame, if you ask me, but what can you do? But everyone's working their ass off. A lot of nice transitions and combinations in the ring, which, I mean, one problem I kind of had was the fact that in the ring they would have pretty much just one-on-one match. They didn't really have a point where they're all going at it at once, which I was really hoping for, but what can you do? Some nice sequences, like I said, on the outside. Really love the stretch where everyone's just taking everyone out. So Finn Bálor kills Roman Reigns with a penalty kick, and then Finn Balor decimates Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe. Drop kicks on the outside. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe are going at Samoa Joe locks in Coquina clutch. Or before that, Finn Balor beats down Bray Wyatt, throws him on the announce table, goes out with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe locks in Coquina clutch. Roman Reigns spears both of them through the barricade, which is a great spot there. And Seth Rollins climbs on the top rope and does a frog splash off the top rope through the announce table, which Bray Wyatt was laying on, which was an awesome spot as well. So I thought those two spots back to back were awesome. I thought it really made for an exciting moment, and that's what it accomplished. And of course, back in the ring, you had Roman Reigns got back in the ring, I believe, first with Seth Rollins. Yeah, they went at it for a while. Seth Rollins almost got some nice near falls on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns tried to attempt his spear. Seth Rollins would counter with his he tried to counter with his knee, but Roman Reigns would counter it. Bray Wyatt would get in the ring. He would eat a spear by Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins would, I believe, what happened to Seth Rollins? I forgot what happened to Seth Rollins. I think Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail and him, and then Roman Reigns took out Roman Reigns. Sorry, so much is going on towards the end. It's kind of hard to remember everything that happened. Roman Reigns had spear on Bray Wyatt, tries to hit a spear on Finn Balor. Finn Balor counters into a sling blade, followed by a dropkick, followed by the coup de grace. So it looked like Finn Balor was going to win, but then Samoa Joe comes out of nowhere, locks in the Coquina clutch, and then Finn Balor passes out. And Samoa Joe is your #1 contender for the Universal Championship at Great Balls of Fire, and I couldn't be any more ecstatic for that match to happen. Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar has been a dream match for a lot of people for the past several years. In fact, that's finally coming to tuition and becoming a reality is, very mind-blowing. Even though I'm pretty sure there's a 0% chance of Samoa Joe winning the match, the fact that it's actually happening is just it's mind-blowing to know that. So Samoa Joe wins. Great main event. Like I said, the first half of the match was very slow, not a whole lot going on, but once that, they shift into third gear and went 100 miles per hour, and everyone's just bust their ass off. They put on a really good main event, which really saved this pay-per-view, if you ask me. The match is still disappointing to me because I really expected more out of it. I really thought it'd be more of a match because, I'm one of those people that just really like, interaction between everyone. I don't like seeing the one-on-one-ness in these multi-man matches. I want to see a point where everyone's going at it at once. And I know there's an odd number of people, so it really wouldn't work that way. But I still would have liked to see that. But the main event was great. Pay-per-view itself, I was like, meh. It's a good show if you watch it, but it's not memorable. It's not worth really going back and watching. So that's my overall thoughts on Extreme Rules. Second half of the show really saved it from being a bad pay-per-view, in my opinion. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please leave a like below in the comment section. If you guys like, please leave your guys' thoughts on Extreme Rules. Your guys' thoughts on Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar coming up. You guys excited for that match or not? Hopefully it's not one-sided with Brock Lesnar just destroying Samoa Joe. Hopefully it's leaning maybe like 60-40. I feel like a good back and forth contest between both of them would be match of the year contender in my opinion. So hopefully we get that. If not, then oh well, what can you do? But yeah, if you guys, like I said, in the comment section, please leave your guys' thoughts on Extreme Rules or not the possible, but the upcoming matches between Brock Lesnar and Samoa Joe. And as always, I'll see you guys next video. Thank you guys for watching the video.